Hello, my name is Kersti and this is what I'm calling the Knitting Diaries, and it's correct at this time. I don't always do crochet, but sometimes I do, but not this time. I have been knitting. I've actually finished something and that's very exciting, at least in my opinion. I like casting on, I like doing the work, the actual knitting, I like casting off. I kind of totally absolutely hate weaving in ends. So when I finish things, I don't allow myself to say that they're completely finished until I've weaved in the ends. And that sometimes takes a while. Like, a week, 2 weeks. I think the longest I've gone from like finishing something to weaving in ends is a couple of months maybe. Was that a good idea? Well, not really, but that's what I did. It happens. And I made these. These are so soft. Super, super soft. And I'm kind of hoping someone will buy them at some point because they're not quite for me. Because even though this yarn, you probably can't see the tag properly because it's way too dark. But it's called baby silk. And it consists of 80% baby alpaca and 20% silk. And they're this really, really cute pattern. And they're wrist warmers. So no thumb holes or anything, so they're supposed to just like go on like this. And I can knit just fine with yarn like this, with pretty much any yarn. But I apparently have very sensitive skin, especially on the arms. So even this is 20% silk, as I said. The 80% baby alpaca, which I thought would be fine, after putting them on a little bit, it's like I really, really want to scratch my arm to death, which would not be a good idea. That would be very unpleasant. But they're really pretty. I don't know how well you can see the pattern. I have no idea. But it's really pretty. The pattern is from Drops Design. I don't think it had a name. I put it back in my binder. Because whenever I print out patterns, I put them in this little plastic sheet and I have this big binder that I put everything in case I want to make it again. And I like this. I like the look of it. I really like the yarn, even though apparently it's not for me to use. And it was a fairly easy pattern. You can't see it fully well because it's a bit, I don't know the word. It's not woolly, it's pusete. That's what I would call it in Norwegian. It's not like very, very straight. It's a little, I have no idea how to explain it. Help, help. Anyway, so the pattern doesn't show off like a lot. So I might want to try this pattern on something else. And also they're a little big for me. So it's kind of nice that they're not fitting. I mean, they fit fine up here, but like, this is kind of like, I don't think it's supposed to be like that. But it's a little big for me on the sides, or in the middle. Where my wrist is, because I go in here. Like, so it's a little too much here, but it's knit just straight all the way, so that's what it is. So I finished! I'm very excited. And I like finishing things, especially the two other things I'm currently like actively knitting are not done at all. So it's gonna take a while before they're done. The next one I'm doing with this yarn, Baby Merino. It's 100% wool, merino wool. And it's a pattern yet again from Drops Design. Apparently that's what where I'm gonna get a lot of my patterns. It's called Sunrise. It's a baby blanket. And the reason I'm doing this because, I mean, it's a cute pattern. It's almost the same pattern as these, which I did not realize immediately, and then when I realized, it's like, oh Oh, that's why it seems familiar. But it's a baby blanket. I had enough yarn, and I'm trying to use some of my yarn because I have quite a bit. So this is where it's at. I have no idea how much of this you can see. It rolls up a bit on the bottom, but that should help if I block it. I hope. But it's so cute. Can you see? Can you see? And I thought it was very like intricate and fancy and would be really hard, but it is super easy. And I'm on ball 4 of the yarns, and I have one more that I'm gonna use, and then it will be done. But it definitely takes a while. I mean, it's a fairly big project. So there's that. Oh, and I'm knitting these on, this one is 4mm needles. These one I knitted, I think, on 3.5, if I'm not entirely mistaken. And I don't think I am. So I knitted these on 3.5. And the last thing I'm currently knitting on, I'm using also 3.5. And I'm using this yarn. It's 100% superwash merino wool. It's supposed to be non-itchy. But now that you've met me, hello, I itch from yarn, especially wool yarn, most of it. And it's another baby blanket. I am on yarn number 7, and I'm pretty sure, even though I have 8, I don't think I will need the 8th one. And this will definitely not show up fully on the camera because it is huge. I mean, I'm wondering, maybe I'm almost done. It's massive. I mean, it's this whole thing. And as I said, I'm on yarn 7. The needles are 3.5, and it's basically just little squares with either knit or purl stitches all the way around. Or not in around, on a flat. But yeah, so this should be done either by the end of this yarn or right before. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the whole yarn actually. And this one, I will definitely use this yarn and the whole next ball, which will be the last ball. And I'm not sure, because those are big projects. I can't bring them along anywhere. Not that I really bring my knitting anywhere anyway. I like to knit at home on my couch, unless I go to my parents. My parents have a rocking chair, and I'm like such an old grandma. It's like sitting there in the rocking chair, knitting and sipping on tea. I need a rocking chair in my life. Unfortunately, there's not like a good placement for it in my own living room, so I'm gonna need a new house where I can fit a rocking chair in a perfect place. Preferably 2 rocking chairs actually. One inside, when it's like you don't want to go outside and you want to sit inside, and one like on the front porch, like sitting outside looking at the sunset or the sunrise, depending on the time of day, obviously. Knitting, listening to the birds, drinking my tea. Yes, I am such a grandma. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna continue with, obviously, the baby blankets. But I don't know if I'm gonna try to knit, I didn't bring it, but either I'm gonna knit yet another pair of wrist warmers because I had yarn, I found some pattern, or if I'm gonna continue with my socks that are toe up. And I got a suggestion that because I felt like I've never knitted socks from toe up before, and the heel with the gusset and all that kind of felt very intimidating. And then I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, but someone suggested a YouTube video, and it had explanation for something that was called shadow short row heel, I think. So I would probably need to knit a little bit more before I start that, but I think I'm gonna try that. But do I continue with the socks, or do I start another pair of wrist warmers? I don't know. I need to decide. Pick one for me, would you? Down in the comment section, socks or wrist warmers? Pick one. I will eventually do both. And I have a new acquisition because I've had my last day at work, so now I'm without a job, which kind of sucks. On the other hand, I did get some gifts. Very happy about that. I got a couple of lovely plants and an oil lamp. Oh, I wanted that for Christmas and I didn't get that, but I got it from work. And I also got a gift certificate to a bookstore. And the book I chose is this one. You might not be able to read it because it's in Norwegian. And the thing is, this is half off now because it's a big book sale. And it's mittens and socks. And it's so many pretty ones. You probably can't see anything. I have no idea how to show this to you, but some of these are just so pretty. I mean, look at these socks. I mean, I really like the colorful ones. I'm not that much of a colorful person, but look at these ones. Can you see them? Can you see the pretty ones? They're both pretty, but like some are more pretty than others. Such a thing, such a thing. And yeah, it's filled with, mittens and socks, and I'm really excited. And I wanted to show, I have no idea how you do this, but this looks really cool. What can you see it? I don't know. These looks really cool. So I kind of really want to do those too. Oh dear. I might have to get some new yarn. Even though I have a lot. That would be sad, wouldn't it? Not really. But yeah, the gift certificate was for a bookstore, so I could buy like knitting books. But I couldn't buy yarn with that. That's a little sad. They don't have yarn at my bookstore. Sometimes I think they should. Other times I'm like, that's okay. That's probably a good idea. I have enough yarn at the moment. So yeah, that was all the things I wanted to talk about today. I hope you still film. But yeah, tell me down in the comment section, should I continue with the socks or should I start another pair of wrist warmers? And yeah, that was it. Short video today, I hope. I don't have time to edit right now, which is kind of weird. I mean, I meant to film and edit and upload yesterday, but it's coming out today on Tuesday the 21st, so yeah. What are you knitting on these days? Are you knitting? And what would you choose? Mittens or socks, if you had to choose to just pick one to do? So far I've been knitting socks because the thumbs on mittens are like, we have some disagreements when I try to do that. So for now, socks are more of my friend than mittens, but I'm excited to have a new knitting book. I have several others, so you could say maybe I didn't need one, but you know, it was on sale. I had a gift certificate. That's what you do, isn't it? I mean, it's what I do. I'm starting to ramble, so I'm gonna quit here. I hope you have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!